Hello, 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 and welcome back to another trek through the dungeon. Well, here it is. The uh the last, hopefully, video in the series, and just in time too, because this announcement that the server is shutting down in a couple weeks just came up, so not too much longer to make it anyway. We're back in Zot 5 now, which is the last floor of the entire game for a 3 rune run. Of course, this leaves off the entire extended. We didn't do elf, which we possibly could have this run. We didn't do slime, or crypt. We didn't do the four hells, and we didn't do pan. So we left off quite a bit. But that's normal. When you're going for your first win, don't worry about extended. Just win the game. Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. A few things about Zot 5. This is the most dangerous floor in the entire game. In these chambers, which are sometimes known as the lungs, a wide variety of horrible things that can murder your face off are present. Typical formats would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say 10 threats here, right? Including ancient liches, dread liches, plenty of orb guardians, which are just beefy melee characters, summoners that can bring up executioners and tier 1 demons, right? You'll also get the orbs of fire, and they are aplenty in this area. Um, and perhaps most and ghost moths, moths of wrath, and random dragons. So nasty stuff. You can definitely get cursed toes, but somehow I feel like that happens a little less often. Maybe that's just my imagination. Orbs of orbs of fire, ancient lich, dread lich are the most definitely will face miserable things you're going to see down here. The issue is more so than just the enemies, because every one of those enemies we fought already and defeated handily. The issue is the layout. Y'all know my tactics of trying to get into 1v1s and trying to avoid fights and hugging stairs. The lungs deny you that ability. You see, you can't ever spawn a staircase in these lungs, so you have to walk in. And you see how there are traps everywhere? These traps are dispersal traps that will make your location bounce like crazy. These traps are teleport traps, so you can't walk in the door here. If you try to walk in the door, you'll be randomly teleported elsewhere. There are plenty of alarm traps that will bring the whole floor jumping down on your head. Net traps that will deny you movement and attack turns. And all of this mess, right, is just one side. This chamber has even more threats. So if you extend your head this deep and then try to run to the stairs, you have that big a run. If you manage to get your neck in this far, you're not making it back out. And if you do make it this far out, you can get flanked by all these guys just as nastily. Now, let's say you're in a bad situation. What's the default solution? Teleport out, right? Or blink and then teleport. Well, if you try to teleport in Zot, you might just end up in the other lung. In fact, assuming it's an absolutely random choice between a random tile on the floor, there are less tiles on this half than on this half. So statistically, you are more likely to end up inside a deeper lung. Teleporting is usually dangerous in Zot. Finally, uh, this orb effect. The orb effect prevents you, or sorry, delays teleportation. It will take double or even triple the usual time for a teleport to kick in. So imagine you get into a nasty situation here. You hit teleport because it's an emergency. Now you're waiting 10 turns, in which time you're taking more damage, only to then get teleported right here. So you reapply a teleport, try to survive, and then you get teleported here. And just like that, 5.5 hours of your life is gone. Well, typically it's a lot less than 5.5 hours if you've played a fast berserk, but you get my meaning. So we naturally are trepidatious in Zod 5. We do not want to lose. So the first advice I have to you is do this. Put an exclusion, read a revelation for sure. Put an exclusion there. Try to avoid entering the lungs until last. Sometimes a teleport trap will force your hand, but usually you get lucky. We're going to follow good tactics. Establish a beachhead near the nearest staircase. Hug the staircase. Slowly explore out from that point. right? So these two staircases are solid. That's good. We do have plenty of teleport traps, so instead of reading a teleport scroll, I could walk into those, theoretically. In practice, random teleporting on Zod is, as I've just explained, usually a bad idea. Getting around the corner, knock him down. Uh, let's maximize fighting to get it capped quicker. We already have 255 HP, which is just beautiful. Okay, all three staircases are covered. Here I would about to hit auto travel, but since I'm teaching, I'll do it without being overbold. We've managed to fully clear from the back forward. That's good. So in theory, there's nothing behind us now. Are we worried about a berserked dragon? A little bit. Let's back off. We're gonna have to deal with him, but hopefully that will only have to deal with him. Oh, he didn't get berserked. Sweet. No damage. Okay, that was actually really unfortunate. Usually I like to kill at least a couple more enemies, so I feel like we've cleared more of the floor, but whatever. We hopefully have gotten that area cleared. Now, first question you might ask is why not dig my way into the lungs? The answer is these walls are reinforced steel, they can't be dug. I can still dig into this purple matter to make a kill hole, and I might do that. So I'm comfortable poking my nose in the tip here, just long enough to attract whatever is willing to come out to me. Nose in the tip. Good. Bring them out. Just the tip. Keep coming. Keep coming. I gave you the tip. I would like you to keep coming. Yeah. My own travel exclusion I can ignore. All right, and immediately pulling out. Phrasing. All right, where are we at? Oh, hi guys. Welcome to chat. All right, so hopefully y'all are seeing the concept of what's going on here. If we assume there are 10, 20, 40, 55 enemies, I just took out 5 of them. That's awesome. Now, I want to be clear, with 48 AC, you probably don't have to be half as scared as I'm acting. But this tactic should work even if you have 30 AC. So that's why I'm teaching it. Next, do we like this setup? Honestly, the stair distance is really bad here. I'm going to use my dig wand to do this so that I have a direct pathway to the stairs instead of having to go the long way. And now I'm going to show you all the first tactic I like to employ. I'm going to intentionally walk into this alarm trap. That will mark me and bring the whole floor after me, yes. But I want the whole floor coming after me because I want them to be drawn out of their side chambers. And just look at this. Into there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22. We just aggroed 22 monsters at once. This might have been a good time to haste. In fact, I have 9 hastes. Yeah, we'll use one of them. Just get the duck out of Fodge. I actually just hit 5 to pass some turns because I want to make sure I'm attracting them. And I'm going to draw these enemies deep, deep into safe territory. We'll just beat them up here. Notice the mark is still on. As much as possible, I want to use every turn of that mark still here. Can I make it to the other staircase? I think I can. I'm still hasted. Let's do this thing, baby. Okay, the mark expired. Now we can leave. Now we've done our job. We've attracted monsters out of the lungs into the body of Zot, or whatever you want to call it. Pull this guy upstairs and butcher him. Now we're gonna go down and beat them up. Orb of Fire. best solution is use anti-magic, berserk, solo, kill him. You make sure your resist fire is maxed. I would put on a ring of resist fire here if I had one, or quaff resistance to get that last pip. I may as well turn on regen. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna. Berserk, boom, boom, attack, one fireball to the face. He's dead. And I did it before he cast mutation. That's the reason I'm doing it, by the way. Not how much damage I might otherwise take, but because I don't want to get mutated. Berserk to immediately start attacking him. I am helped here by the fact that anti-magic restricts his ability to cast. By the way, you may have noticed we're still getting multi-attacked. The result of that mark was to draw so many enemies up that we have what I like to call decompressed. We've decompressed the lung chamber significantly. Ooh, this staircase is bad. Let's get out. Let's go to the other one. Any other one, I don't care. Oh, we got mutated. Intelligence loss and inability to read scrolls. I consider the inability to read scrolls to be a very dangerous mutation, so I'm going to quaff out of that because blink scrolls are my way to get out of a bad situation, and if damage locks out my ability to read scrolls, I'm in trouble. So let's drink that away. Hey, we now passively map and have strength plus 4. That's good. Mostly I just wanted to get rid of the bad mutation, but I'll take some good ones. Let's limit the approach here with fog and then just beat you up. Thanks. We did take passive deterioration on being hit. We can survive that. We're going to ignore that mutation. Okay, so we've managed to kill off some enemies. Pro tip, capital X and F will forget the floor. I think that's how it works. Control F. So now we can re-explore everything as if we had just come here. Because remember, we marked and drew enemies into here. Nothing is safe territory anymore. We have to re-establish our safety in this area. Again, I'm being extremely pedantic, but that is how we're going to make sure not to lose the game. We got one. Oh no, we ran out of berserk. I could very easily make the argument that we should blink away, but let's prove a point. Because we fought him slow, we took 2 more negative mutations. Nothing that I can't handle, though. Those are not teleportitis, berserkeritis, or any of the other lethal ones. Can't drink potions, can't use scrolls would be my least favorites. So I'll let it ride. And by the way, we just killed 4 orbs of fire, right? Imagine having to fight all 4 of those inside the lungs. We couldn't berserk. We couldn't 1v1. We'd probably have to summon Trog allies or something, and that could have been very risky. So this is how I prefer to decompress things. Alright, we have reestablished all these stairs as safe. Pick off the little sick ones. Auto travel. Oop, they're still coming. Through that little tunnel that I built. See, if it weren't for that tunnel I built, I would have to go all the way around to here to find them, instead of finding them closer to a staircase. That's why I built that tunnel. One dig wand charge was definitely worth it. Okay. Oh, Moth of Roth. Come to me, please. You too, buddy. Oh man, did one of them step on the... No, that was me. I stepped on that. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we've full cleared again, and hopefully that means that there aren't any or there's almost no monsters there. So once again, just the tip. For the love of God. Can we get something threatening here? Shout a couple times. Oh, Moth of Wrath came. We'll take you out. Shout a couple times. Nobody's coming. Shout a couple times. Okay, so it looks like we've cleared the antechamber. So we're done. We can go in, right? Wrong. Wrong. Look for the other trap. There's not always going to be these traps, but as often as there are, I'm stepping in it. I've marked and I'm summoning. It looks like I only managed to alert 3 enemies this time, but I'll take what I can. Here they come. These guys don't even justify going upstairs right now. I got them handily. Oh, This guy, on the other hand, beat him up, go upstairs, rest it off. No new problems, no new solution needed. Once again, we're going to forget the floor and auto-travel it to make sure it's safe. Whoops! You're not safe. Come to me. Quick kill. Back off. Back off. Oh, Fog might be reasonable here. And then Shout to bring him towards me. Oh no. We underestimated how many enemies were behind him. Lucky for us, we killed both. Do not step into a teleport trap. What, do you have a death wish? Alright. Somebody wants to come to me. Very happy to take you out, bro. Very happy to take you out. So you might wonder why we're seeing this many enemies if we only saw 3 shouts. The reason is because the enemies, half of those enemies were already alerted after the first trap. They just didn't get far enough to face me. Alright, we auto-travel, re-cleared everything. We are set. There are no more traps. Oh, come back. There are no more traps to trigger. Now we are running out of options. A mage, for completion's sake, I will say a mage has the option to use Shatter to bust open the lungs from the sides and make shorter escape routes. But as a non-mage, that is just not a toolkit. We're going to have to rely on our extremely robust AC. Always checking for new mutations that we just didn't notice. Whoa, this game just got very laggy. But it looks like the stream's okay. Y'all can still see me. Okay, we've done our due diligence. Shout, shout, shout. Now it's time to go in. Always pick the safest side. A teleport trap at the door here means that this side isn't safe. If we walk in here, we'll be in a random location. A distortion trap here means that you don't know, it'll be very hard to escape. Both of these are unsafe. I may have to use a blink scroll to enter and exit. There is no helping that. Here, I do a trick. I want the clown to step on the alarm trap for me, but now I don't want him to step on the dispersal trap. If I'm worried enough, I can use a resource like a blink scroll to not get dispersaled into here. While marked, that's actually a really good idea. So let's make sure I don't get dispersaled. We get another round of the mark off, which is great. 3 pulls with mark, we might actually fully decompress most of the lungs. And I am very much a fan of that idea. Let's put resistance on. I'm not going to leave this staircase. I want the safety of being able to get out if I have to. Okay, the mark is expired now, so we're very much good to leave. Any enemy that's coming is coming. So fight on the staircase is fine. One at a time, berserk. We know how to end each fight. Uh-huh. I'd like you all to realize that all of the enemies we've been fighting ever since that first basically walkthrough with no fights clear, all of them were inside these tight chambers covered in traps. If you walked in there brazenly, yeah, you probably are okay, but maybe you're not. Maybe you die. And stakes are your entire run. So it's okay to be a little cowardly and focus on hit and run tactics and the like. But you can't exactly hit and run when there's dispersal dance traps and teleport traps, which is why drawing enemies out like this makes sense. Oh, hey, there are cursed toes here. Wouldn't you know? 1v1, berserk around a corner. Alright, let's do it again. Make sure we're safe. Ancient Lich just went invisible. Let's go here, let him come to us, and then beat him up in melee. Very good. Anti-magic battle axe. Why, thank you, Trog. Courtesy of your gifts. Okay. Uh, 5th time's the charm, I guess. Let's walk in again. Hopefully we don't use too many blink scrolls and fog scrolls and then run out, but I hope you all see how bad that could have gone for me if I had accepted the likely scenario where I walk away, Clown walks into trap, Dispersal Dance winds me up here or here somewhere. All those marked enemies zone in on me. We keep getting dispersaled around and have to fight them a Cursed Toe, an Orb of Fire, two Dreadliches, and an Ancient Lich at once. Alright. Shout, 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 shout. The shout out is complete. Oh, we have an enemy. Knock you out. Mama said knock you out. Okay. Orb Guardian. Where? Oh, he hit Dispersal, got me into the net, got me flanked, but is okay. Not that scary. Now we have no choice, so we walk into Dispersal and try to get into the chamber. Lucky for us, instead of being surrounded by a bazillion enemies, it's basically empty. Don't try too hard to full clear this area. If you're pretty confident you can establish a beachhead here, but with all these dispersal traps and net traps, you might just be safer not spending any time here you don't have to. Do not get marked again. Marking like that is for when you can easily retreat. By the time we get marked here, we're not making it out, so it's not worth it to us. If something marks you, do not hesitate to drop cancellation to get rid of it. This is such a bad layout. All these dispersal traps, if there were 5 enemies, every time one of them approached you, your position would change. Then you'd blink out and they would yank you back in. Thank God we got a good decompress and there are no enemies here because of those decompresses. Hope that you guys see the value of that tactic. I know it's hard to appreciate how valuable it is because when everything works, it looks like there was no threat. This area usually has 8 Orb Guardians in it. Right now, we're dealing with like 2 because we pulled them all out. Okay, 3. Yes, it's just on proving me wrong. There is no value whatsoever to going into the opposite side. We have our retreat. Why would we clear this out? But if you'll look, we've already cleared out most of the threat here by our decompression tactics. This is the orb. We pick this up. We're going to be hounded until we get out, and then we win the game. So let's do that, I guess. We have numerous resources, plenty of summonable trolls, and nothing and no reason to save any of it. So now's the time to be generous with using your resources as you get out. We don't want to mutate any of this away. We're happy with that set. We've got 8 hastes. That's plenty. Let's drink 1 so that we can move quickly out of Zot, pick up the orb, and the time bomb has been set. Escape immediately. I think we just walk out of here. I will intentionally walk into this teleport trap because most places I end up are better. And yep, it got me near to the door. Out we go. Immediately zoom in on the nearest staircase and out we go. Oop. Sometimes it's worth considering, should I dig my way there? Should I teleport again? Uh, Usually I auto travel until something goes wrong, then I assess the situation. Brimstone Fiend I can take on with minimal health loss, so that's fine. Orb Guardian I can take on with minimal health loss, so that's fine. Shadow Demon doesn't scare me. He can follow me as long as he likes. He's kind of like a bodyguard. This guy can mutate me. That's a pain, but otherwise I'm not worried about him. And the biggest reason we don't fight every fight is our goal is just to leave. Our goal isn't to win every fight. Our goal is literally just to leave. Nearest staircase is to the right, so we are going to have to take on the orange brain. That's fine. Out we go. Out we go. Note about leaving depth and leaving Zot is it's your only one staircase out. So this is one of the few places you can be forced into a very nasty situation where you either have to dodge around a very dangerous monster or fight it to the death. So just be advised if you have tricks up your sleeve, using them to get out of Zot. Oh, we are in melee range of a horrible, tormenting demon that is also capable of locking down our ability to move. And it's a one-way door out of depths. This is a situation I would be very comfortable using butterflies and blink. So I think butterflies doesn't buy us enough distance here. We'll use blink. We do not want to fight this fight at all. In fact, we're going to put... He can't do any blinking, right? Dimensional Anchor prevents us from blinking, which is fine at this range. So we're just going to keep walking out. Oh, Torment. I forgot about Torment. One more step, close the door, regen, and then butterflies. We'll get him out of here. Oh no, this guy just has to step on the staircase to slow our escape. 3 attacks, but we did get out. See how much health was lost because there was only one staircase out? That's why I worry about that spot. We have stacks of curing, so we're going to actually quickly get back a little HP before we keep moving. Then we're going to be on the staircase, and we're going to hug the staircase until a monster spawns in to continue regenerating, and then we're going to get out. Maximize our escape and our recovery. I don't want to fight this fight. I can either blink to the stairs and walk out, or I can just run for it. I think this guy doesn't... They do have some pretty nasty stuff. I would be better served fighting than running. So we'll kill him, and then run. This guy is not as scary, and boom, out we go. We could dig wand through this wall and walk to the left, or we could travel to that staircase. I'm not scared enough that I have to, but just to prove that there are more than one tactics here, we can do that. Okay, Panlord. Just a brute, but does travel faster than me. With a Lich capable of Orb of Destruction. So we are going to use resources to escape this fight. That's fine. Think of it this way, if I blink twice per floor, I'll only run out on the last floor. Brimstone Fiend is not a fun enemy to fight. Turn on regen, butcher him, and off we go. Butcher him, and off we go. Off we go. Off we go. Off we go. Definitely do not want to take the long way around here when I could just dig my way through it, especially since there are so few floors left in the game. We're okay, I think. Come to me, I'm not coming to you. And we did it. That's it. That's your first win. Ugh. So, truly, I recognize that we got a little lucky in terms of the amount of good gear we got this game. No questions asked. But none of that gear, none, was responsible for our win. This win was entirely predicated on the caution and the approach to playing. And that can be replicated with nothing more than a good axe, a reasonable piece of plate mail, and generic auxiliary gear. Like, truly, that's all you need. It's very easy to do, to the point that many better players get bored watching Minotaur Berserker runs because there's not much to them. In fact, yeah. So my recommendation, actually, let me drop out of this while I'm chit-chatting because that was pretty sweet that we won here. My recommendation is don't do this if you've already won the game. There's not a whole lot of, I mean, do it, whatever, but don't make this the only character and only class you play. This game can get really dull if all you do is Minotaur Berserker. I've played and won with every race in the game before, and I think when I really started branching out to do that is when the depth of how far and how deep this game goes really started to show itself to me. And I really started to appreciate how much went into a different run and how much went into uh the depth of strategy. Also just how much you could use different tools in the dungeon and how much more value there was in spells, items, gear that ordinarily I'd overlooked. Because if you only ever play one race class, you only ever think in terms of how that one race class is affected by certain items. But if you branch out and try other things, it's great. But if you haven't won before, if you've not actually even experienced, you know, the basic depth of the game, then don't make your first run a challenge run. Make your first run a straightforward one that you can enjoy and get something out of. And I think that there's no shame in that. There's no harm in that. I would argue that's the best way to go, unless you're not enjoying it. Yeah, games are meant to be fun. Have fun with your game. That's the best advice. Uh, but yeah, to prove a point, this is a Minotaur being played absolutely ridiculously fast with absolutely no caution, none of my good tactics. Except, in a micro scale, I am applying those tactics whenever things go bad and I have to. Otherwise, by and large, I'm just barging through and O-tapping through everything I can. And as you can see, uh, in 1.5 minutes, I've gone through D4. It's definitely what you've been watching thus far has been a far more intelligent, reliable way to play, as opposed to this suicidal overconfidence that I'm putting on full display here. Can't help myself. Once I start playing, I never want to stop. Uh, it is a problem, I admit. Oh, this game already has a hand axe in it and a broad axe. Okay, so if we've got a broad axe, then we're ahead of the curve. This might be death. I shouldn't have taken both these guys on at once, but it wasn't, so keep going. There was a war axe there. There's Robin. I just O-tap through you guys. You're not scary. You guys are scary. We'll berserk through you guys. So yeah, this is the point. Even with no gear whatsoever, an early game Minotaur Berserker is extremely powerful and very forgiving. You can get away with using bad tactics. Don't. Practice good tactics because that will pay off when you play characters that are less overpowered. I think one of my next runs needs to be learning a mage, of course, just to kind of complete the circle. But also, I think I should play a really weaker melee start to show how good tactics work on a character that needs the tactics to survive, instead of, the Minotaur who, I mean, can benefit from good tactics. Good tactics hurt on nobody, but frankly, can get away with this. Alright, we good. I was really hoping this character would die in 3 minutes, but so far he is disappointing me. He is proving a little too lively. Alright, we'll call it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was fun for you guys. I hope you benefited from it. If you know somebody else who's trying to get that first win and hasn't been able to, definitely share this with them. Feel free to request if there's other walkthroughs or tutorials you guys are more interested in to come. And thank you all for watching. This has been super fun. And I will see you guys next time.